And that's the secret of Club Silencio and why it really matters. It's not stupid. You think the audience is stupid for not knowing it's a recording? You forgot Mulholland Drive was all a fake thing created by David Lynch. It's amazing. It's about you. It's teaching you, the audience, a lesson. They're the audience for the performance, and you're the audience for the performance. And then they go home, and they use the key to open the box. And when they do, Naomi Watts isn't there anymore, and it looks like she never was there. And then the original woman who owned the apartment comes home and finds nobody there and doesn't find the box. And we travel into some, and the camera goes into the box, just like going into the ear in Blue Velvet. Um, and and by the way, you see the same symbols, by the way, the same images here, the smoke and the electricity that David Lynch loves to put in all of his movies, and the curtains and the fire, and he has these repeated symbols that he likes to return to. But we go into another world in the box. Now, Betty did not seem like she was going to be a great actress, and when she went to that audition, I was shocked at how good she did at the audition. She was an incredible actress. Naomi Watts, the actress in Mulholland Drive, is the greatest actress I've ever fucking seen. Um, when she wakes up from the bed, I didn't even recognize her. She looks so different, but it's the same actress. And I couldn't believe it was her. Um, and her life is very, very different after the box. She's miserable. She's not perky, happy Betty with her pink sweater and her sparkles and her happy attitude. She's miserable. Um, and she seems pretty fucked up and pretty upset. She's unhappy and she's grumpy, and it seems like she was in some kind of lesbian relationship with that neighbor woman who comes over to like get her stuff back. She's getting her dishes, and like it's very uncomfortable, unpleasant, unhappy. Um, and there's a blue key. Now, in the first part of the movie, the blue key was this important, mysterious, mystical symbol. But in the second half, one of the things the key should make you think about is that if you're broken up with somebody, the person needs to get their stuff back. That's uncomfortable. But if you've ever shared a place, I got divorced. The real moment you know it's over is when you give your key back, right? Like the key is that's when you know it's over. You don't have a key. You don't even have a key to that place anymore. It is done. Betty's life seems terrible. Um, she just doesn't seem like herself. Um, and there's a shot in the movie that I don't think anybody's going to remember this from way back when, but I love it. It's from 2001. It's the same shot. Remember the scene in 2001 at the very end of the movie when Hal gets out of the pod and he looks, not Hal, Dave Bowman gets out of the pod and he looks over and sees an old man eating dinner. And then the old man turns around and looks at the camera and he doesn't see anything because what started off as looking through the eyes of Dave Bowman at the man turned out to be just a camera. And because the old man turned around and didn't see his younger self, he saw nothing. Because the moment Dave Bowman looked at that guy, he became that guy. That was in 2001. The same shot is here. Naomi Watts is making coffee. She looks over. She reacts like she's seeing something. She sees Camilla and she's beautiful. And she looks again and says, Camilla. And then when we look, it's like she's looking at herself. But she's not looking at herself. She is that self. It's that same disorienting, right? That suddenly the movie isn't following the rules of logic anymore. Um, it slips in and out of, and I mentioned, and like Wizard of Oz and Lost Highway and Vertigo, this is a twice told story. We start out with a story, and then it starts again in a very different, very sad way for the final stretch, where everything's different. But it becomes very confusing. Naomi Watts walks over to the couch in a dirty bathrobe, but then she's in like sexy jean shorts, and Laura Herring is there in her perfect makeup, looking perfectly evil and sexy, and right. And Naomi Watts is sad, and she's sort of masturbating by herself, and the camera seems like it's sad and depressing masturbation, and it's not sexy. And then and the camera can't focus. It's like the movie is disintegrating and kind of falling apart. The dialogue for the scene, though, where Laura Herring's makeup is perfect, where she's on the couch, you drive me wild. It's like the fakety fake dialogue that is reminiscent of 1980s porn. Um, and it's very sad. Naomi Watts isn't a movie star. She's just this like extra with a very small role on the Sylvia North story. Laura Herring is now on the Sylvia North story, and confusingly, Laura Betty is now no longer even called Betty. She's called Diane. Um, And come on, Diane. Like the characters' names have swapped around and switched in kind of disturbing ways. But now so that's why I use the actors' names. But and she's in the relationship. Laura Herring is in a relationship with Adam Kesher, the director, and she's sort of got Naomi Watts as like her sex toy on the side, but she wants to make out with the director in front of Naomi Watts. She wants to announce that she's getting married in front of Naomi Watts. This is mean. Like Laura Herring is terrible. Her makeup is super evil and she acts super evil because she's treating her like she's nothing, and she's having this poor girl watch her kiss the director, watch her fall in love. Naomi Watts has got tears in her eyes, and she invites her to the party where they're going to announce the engagement. That nice old lady Coco from the apartment complex, that's Adam Kesher's mom. What? Just like Wizard of Oz, the characters come back, but in different roles. And things have gotten it becomes very confusing. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. And then just to kind of race toward the end of the movie, and then I'll sort of summarize the end of the movie before heading into kind of the final explanation of the whole thing. And at that party, it's bad enough that Diane. Sorry, it's so confusing with the names. It's bad enough that Laura Herring had Naomi Watts as some kind, and Naomi Watts was not a very talented actress. She tells the story of her audition going very badly. People didn't like her in the audition. This is the opposite of what we saw. And then not only is Laura Herring marrying Adam Kesher, the director, and she's the movie star and not Naomi Watts, she's got a new girl toy. And the new girl toy is this Camilla Rhodes girl, the same girl the mob wanted to be in the movie. It's very, very confusing and disorienting because we learned all of this stuff, and then we learned all of this stuff, and now it's all changed and swapped around. By the way, notice that the new girl toy has Naomi Watts' colors again, the blonde with the pink and the sparkles and we see that cowboy again at the party. We see the coffee guy, the guy that spit out the coffee, is drinking coffee at the party at Adam Kesher's house. And then we learn that Naomi Watts is so angry about this situation that she hires an assassin. That's the guy who, the bumbling Tarantino assassin, to kill Laura Herring and murder her. And the blue key is the symbol that the assassination was successful. He's a hitman. And then, overcome by guilt, she kills herself. And that is the end of Mulholland Drive. It's an incredibly the old people show up from the beginning to kind of as these sort of demons, released by the creature in the back of Winky's with a paper bag, and they get sent from that creature to hound Naomi Watts to commit suicide. The happy girl that we started the movie with is terrible, and it's incredibly sad. Yeah, okay. So what the fuck is this movie about? Holy shit. The internet has a pretty simple explanation if you Google it. People love to Google Mulholland Drive, what's it about? One of the points of this class, though, is that we're smarter than that. I will give you the very straightforward internet explanation, and then I will tell you why it's not sufficient. The internet explanation is really simple. There's before the blue box and after the blue box. The internet explanation is pretty straightforward, and it does help to make sense of some of the movie. After the blue box is the real story of Naomi Watts moving to LA, failing to become a famous actress, getting involved with this woman, heartbreak and terribleness and despair. But then she wishes things had gone better. And so the first hour and 45 minutes of the movie is like the way she wished it had happened. And so that what makes the movie confusing is in Wizard of Oz, you get sort of reality followed by the same story in a happier dream level. What David Lynch does is he gives you the dream first and then shows you the reality that it was sort of based on, that Naomi Watts was unsuccessful in acting and in love. And so she kind of invents a world, the first part of the movie, where she is successful in love and successful acting, and it gets revenge on all the people that were mean to her. It's a pretty good start for a theory about what's going on with the movie, but it's wrong, and I'll tell you why in the next video.